Mr. Speaker, today I stand before you and my honorable colleagues to share some of the exciting and transformative work that is being taken across our primary schools to support and enhance the teaching and learning of mathematics in our primary school classrooms. Mr. Speaker, let me first provide a brief backdrop for my honorable colleagues who will recall back in February 2018 when I shared the Cambridge checkpoint and IGCSE results for the 2017-2018 school year. During that press conference, I advised the public that our students were not performing at the expected standard for mathematics, and this was of great concern. Consequently, the following month, in March 2018, two specialists from Cambridge International visited our public schools to conduct observations in math classrooms and to facilitate training sessions designed to improve the teaching of mathematics. I shared at that time with this honorable House during their visit, the Cambridge representatives held focused conversations with our students, teachers, principals, and technical officers. They also visited several schools and made observations while students were learning in their respective classroom environments. Using the data collected, recommendations were made to the Department of Education on where to refocus the direction of mathematics in our public schools. Mr. Speaker, the Department's technical officers used these recommendations as data for informed decision-making in alignment with Plan 2022 Strategies 5.33 and 5.33.1. Leading to the implementation of a comprehensive mathematics intervention program for improvement of teaching mathematics across all of our primary schools. This intervention program includes extensive professional development training in mathematics for our teachers to enhance and build on the quality of teaching and learning in the classroom, support and assistance for school principals, and ultimately, we expect it to lead to improvement of our Cambridge score results and other mathematics assessment results for our students. Mr. Speaker, during the 2018-19 school year, the overseas consulting firm Primal Academic Innovations Limited was introduced to the mathematics teacher leader at Harrington Sound Primary through a former PTA president at the school. Consequently, financial support was received from the Bank of Bermuda Foundation that facilitated PAI implementing a mathematics intervention program at Harrington Sound Primary School, which included the same essential practices highlighted in the recommendations from the Cambridge representatives. These included focus on conceptual versus procedural understanding, engage students more in talking, thinking, and reflecting, scaffold less so students build independent skills, allow students more ownership for their learning, encourage reasoning and problem solving, exercise questioning, and develop positive dispositions. Mr. Speaker, the mathematics program at Harrington Sound Primary proved to be successful in improving the performance of their students. The school's attainment for the Cambridge checkpoints averaged 2.7 in 2019, with all P6 students included. However, after factoring out the scores of students who required access arrangements, the attainment average increased to 3.2. The attainment was notably higher than the 1.9 in the previous year. Mr. Speaker, the increase in student results at Harrington Sound Primary School was also evidenced by the scores they achieved in the Department of Education's common summative assessments in mathematics that students from P4 to P6 set at the end of the 2018-19 academic school year. The math results for Harrington Sound Primary were significantly higher compared to other primary schools. Mr. Speaker, after one academic year, the mathematics intervention program was contributing to a significant improvement in the results in both checkpoint and international assessment and the national math assessment. Consequently, Mr. Speaker, the Department of Education contracted PIA Limited to build on this success with wider implementation of a mathematics intervention program for all primary schools. The Primal Academic Innovations Limited is a team of school improvement professionals that have a strong track record of transforming schools that have an underachievement in mathematics to becoming centers of mathematic excellence. The PIA team has been responsible for transforming 31 primary schools in the North England and in the Midlands from achieving low standards to exceeding the national average in all cases. The majority of these schools are now ranked in the top 5% of schools in the UK in regards to improved quality of teaching mathematics through training, resources, support, and leadership development, which will also ensure that all schools are sufficiently equipped with support students to improve mathematics. Mr. Speaker, in January 2020, PIA Limited contract commenced to deliver in 3 phases a comprehensive mathematics intervention program for all primary schools. The phases include the following. Phase 1, January to March 2020. Training of all primary school teachers on a mastery approach to teaching mathematics and align mastery approach to learning with the standard-based grading program. Develop mathematics lessons resources for every primary school, introduce principles to an observation strategy and monitoring system, and hold parent sessions with every primary school. Phase 2, April to June 2020, further training of all teachers and the provision of lesson plans and teaching resources, direct support for teachers with feedback, and the creation of assessments and support for parents and school principals. Phase 3 includes, from September to December 2020, create a hub of teachers who will lead and assist with math interventions at the primary school level, develop capacity in the public school system to sustain intervention efforts, involve the modification of standard-based grading pacing guides, and review the impact of phases 1 and 2. Mr. Speaker, since January 2020, the CEO of PIA Limited, Mr. Adam Ewan-Berry, has been providing the Commissioner of Education with regular progress reports on the implementation of the Mathematics Intervention Program. The deliverables outlined in Phase 1, which I shared, are nearing completion. In addition, parent sessions have been held at all 18 primary schools, and web pages for every school have been established by principals, teachers, and parents, for access by principals, teachers, and parents. Mr. Speaker, I was very encouraged by the most recent progress report the Commissioner shared with me during the last week in February. The progress report was from the CEO, Mr. Ewan-Berry, and I want to quote an excerpt from his report verbatim as it relates to the P6 Math Booster sessions that were held. And I quote, "The P6 event was a huge success so far. I've had parents coming up to me in shops and in Hamilton all over the weekend telling me how much the P6 event has boosted their child's confidence in math." Mr. Speaker, the P6 booster events are two-day sessions where a team of math education experts and P6 students across schools are brought together to work in small groups and address specific gaps in math learning. During mid-February, the P6 booster event was held with Prospect Primary, Elliott Primary, and Harrington Sound Primary Schools at Cedar Bridge Academy. The focus was placed on ensuring students understood and had a good knowledge of the Cambridge test questions. The team of math experts that assisted with the P6 booster sessions were local tutors, P6 tutors, and PIA UK experts. This combination of expertise underscored the effective and sustainable model to raise standards in math for our primary school students. I was also privy to several photos of the P6 booster session shared by Mr. Ewan-Berry. What I saw stirred up a pounce of excitement within me. At one point during the session, the students were seated in groups, were in groups sitting around several tables from which it was clear they were discussing and conversing. Then other photos showed them in huddle sessions spread out on the floor with flip chart paper, notepads, and markers. Another set of photos showed some students at the flip chart in front of the room. Mr. Speaker, I saw engagement, I saw interaction, and I saw participation. This is the aim of Plan 2022 Priority 1, which states to increase academic rigor and student engagement. And Strategy 1.1 is to deliver high-quality instructional practices for students that are rigorous and foster knowledge, comprehension, critical and creative thinking, application, and communication. Mr. Speaker, let me also share with my honorable colleagues direct quotes made to Mr. Ewan-Berry from students, teachers, and parents about the P6 booster session. Teachers, thank you for igniting the fire in our students. What an amazing setup and so valuable. Students, I never thought I would enjoy a whole day of math. I didn't know I could do this. I love learning this way. Parents, thank you. My child came home excited about math, and I couldn't believe it. My child has grown in confidence and now says she likes math. Mr. Speaker, this is what we are working towards, progress and transformation. I continue to say, and I will repeat as we move forward on this journey, it only takes one generation to transform our public school system together. Students, teachers, parents, principal, and the community, we will all make this happen. Mr. Speaker, it is expected the Math Intervention Program is to see our primary school teachers deliver high-quality mathematics instruction and for our schools to become international centers of excellence in the teaching of mathematics. I believe this is possible. Improving the performance of our students in mathematics is a strategy directly linked to Plan 2022 and the transformation of the public school education. I will provide my honorable colleagues with further updates as Phase 2 and Phase 3 of the Mathematics Intervention Program are rolled out from April to June and September to December 2020, respectively. Mr. Speaker, I also would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to the Bank of Bermuda Foundation for partnering with the Department of Education in funding the Mathematics Intervention Program for primary schools. I also thank school principals and our teachers for their efforts and willingness to work collaboratively with PIA to improve the teaching and learning experiences of our students. This is a start to how our public school system will progress forward on the transformative journey aligned with Plan 2022, the strategic plan for our public schools and for our children. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.